Reports tally over 50 ships and 20 aircraft lost, their fates sealed in the deep, with no wreckage discovered, no distress signals heard, and no survivors to unravel their last moments. The sheer number of these mysterious disappearances has sparked a global fascination that transcends geography, fact, and time. Why do vessels and airplanes vanish here more than anywhere else? What unseen forces might be at work beneath the waves? This phantom zone thrives not on government charts or scientific consensus, but in the shadows of legend and popular culture. The Bermuda Triangle exists more vividly in books, films, and whispered tales than in validated nautical records or official navigational warnings. Despite repeated assertions from bodies such as the U.S. Coast Guard and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration that the region presents no greater hazard than any other heavily trafficked ocean route, the mystique endures. It was in 1964 that the term Bermuda Triangle first surfaced in the pages of a pulp magazine, coined by Vincent Gaddis to describe a perplexing pattern of vanishings. The mystery was sealed into the public consciousness a decade later by Charles Berlitz's best-selling book, which spun dramatic narratives and introduced exotic, otherworldly elements like the lost city of Atlantis. Since then, the mystique has been magnified by countless retellings, each weaving new threads into the tapestry of fear and wonder that envelops this watery expanse. Yet the boundaries of this enigmatic area are as nebulous as the stories themselves. Estimates of its size range wildly, sometimes covering over 1 million square miles. This ambiguity allows a broad spectrum of incidents to be folded into the legend, encompassing events that happened far outside any logically drawn perimeter. The consequence is a growing shadow of mystery cast over a vast, ever-shifting patch of ocean, where human error, environmental hazards, and chance can be easily cloaked in intrigue. Within this zone, ships like the USS Cyclops have disappeared without warning, taking hundreds of lives with them. Planes like Flight 19 have lost their way amid compass failures and vanished into the ether, deepening the fog of uncertainty. The absence of wreckage, the literal void beneath the waves, amplifies the eeriness, leaving only silence where once there was noise and movement. Are these vanishings maddening puzzles beyond human understanding, or simply tragedies misunderstood and misrepresented? In opening this episode, we invite you to step into the depths of the Bermuda Triangle story, to wade through its layered myths, confront its harsh realities, and explore the uneasy space where legend and fact collide. Through this journey, we will unravel the tangled threads of history, myth, and science, revealing the truth behind the illusion of the perpetual phantom zone. What comes to light may surprise you, challenge what you believe, and remind us all of the vastness of the unknown still hidden in the world's oceans. And so, with the Atlantic winds whispering across these mysterious waters, we begin. The Bermuda Triangle has long been a source of fascination, a murky expanse of sea that has swallowed vessels and aircraft whole, leaving nothing but whispers and speculations in its wake. Among the many stories that fuel its eerie legend, several disappearances stand out, not only for their scale and mystery, but for how deeply they have embedded themselves into the fabric of the Bermuda Triangle mythos. These iconic vanishings carve the bedrock upon which much of the mystery is built, evoking images of ships and planes lost forever to unfathomable forces. One of the earliest and most devastating of these incidents is the disappearance of the USS Cyclops in 1918. This colossal Navy collier, tasked with ferrying coal during the height of World War I, vanished en route from Barbados to Baltimore, carrying 306 crew members and passengers. Its loss remains the single largest non-combat casualty in U.S. naval history. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the ship or its inhabitants was ever found, leaving a gaping void and countless questions. Initial theories pointed to enemy action, suggesting German U-boats or mines might have claimed the vessel. However, after the war, intelligence debunked these claims, redirecting focus to more grounded explanations. One persuasive theory proposes that the ship's cargo, acidic coal, may have corroded the structural beams critical to its integrity. Such degradation could have rendered the Cyclops vulnerable to catastrophic failure in rough seas. This view gains support when considering the eerie pattern of sister ships, the Proteus and Nereus, that suffered similar fates under comparable conditions in 1941. Thus, while the circumstances were tragic and total, they may well be explained by a lethal combination of design vulnerability and nature's ferocity rather than anything supernatural. Fast forward a few decades to December 5th, 1945, when Flight 19 took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, embarking on what should have been a routine training mission. Comprising 5 Navy Avenger torpedo bombers and 14 crewmen, the squadron would soon be swallowed by the enigmatic void of the Triangle, earning the nickname the Lost Patrol. From the moment the planes left base, disorientation crept in. Lieutenant Charles Taylor, the squadron's commander, reported his compass was malfunctioning, and soon, amidst confused radio transmissions, it became clear the group was lost. What transpired in those final frantic moments remains a study in confusion and dread. No wreckage, no survivors, just silence. The mystery deepened tragically when the PBM Mariner search plane dispatched to find Flight 19 also disappeared, carrying 13 crew members and vanishing without a trace. The concurrent loss of both the original flight and its rescue operation amplified public captivation and suspicion, breathing life into dark speculations about the Bermuda Triangle's powers. Yet from a scientific standpoint, navigational errors, compounded by instrument failure and adverse weather, appear as more plausible culprits than otherworldly forces. Adding more layers to the mystery are the cases of the British passenger aircraft Star Tiger and Star Ariel. The Star Tiger disappeared on January 30th, 1948, while flying from the Azores to Bermuda with 31 people on board. Despite an extensive search lasting several days, nothing was found, no distress signal, no wreckage, not even debris. The official inquiry declared the disappearance an unsolved mystery, emphasizing the lack of any definitive answers. Notably, the investigation unearthed potential human error. While the flight was planned to maintain a cruising altitude of 2,000 feet, position reports indicated it was flying at 20,000 feet. Whether due to a faulty altimeter or pilot oversight, this discrepancy might have led the plane steadily into the sea, unnoticed until it was too late. Star Ariel mirrored this grim fate in 1949, disappearing on a similar route under comparable conditions, further reinforcing the pattern of unexplained vanishings clustered in the Triangle's waters. Beyond these high-profile incidents, the Bermuda Triangle legend is peppered with tales of other lost vessels. From early 19th century naval ships like the USS Pickering and USS Wasp, often claimed by violent storms, to the ghostly abandonments such as the Rosalie found adrift with no crew, these incidents layer the narrative further. The famed Ellen Austin story, involving a ship discovering a derelict to which it sent a crew that then vanished, was debunked by researchers who found no historical evidence of such events, yet it persists as folklore. Similarly, the SS Cotopaxi, missing since 1925, was long thought a triangle mystery until its wreckage was positively identified off the coast of Florida in 2020, revealing how advancements in underwater exploration can sometimes solve long-standing enigmas. What unites these stories is the haunting refrain of absence: no wreckage, no survivors, no concrete evidence, an abyss that invites speculation but resists closure. However, the immense depths of the Triangle, particularly the Milwaukee depth reaching over 27,000 feet, alongside the powerful Gulf Stream currents, complicate search and recovery efforts. Wreckage can be rapidly dispersed or hidden in these turbulent and complex oceanic conditions, which often explains the lack of physical evidence without invoking the paranormal. The era in which many of these losses occurred also colors our understanding. They predate modern navigation systems, GPS, and reliable communication tools. Pilots and captains relied heavily on compasses, maps, and rudimentary radio, a combination vulnerable to error, disorientation, and failure in unexpected conditions. The story of Flight 19 is a testament to these limitations, where a history of prior navigational challenges by its commander and possible equipment malfunctions culminated in tragedy. The high volume of maritime and aerial traffic through the triangle further increases the probability of incidents purely by chance and volume rather than by supernatural cause. Yet, within this blend of documented facts and plausible theories lies the kernel of tension that sustains the Bermuda Triangle myth. On one side are the stark realities of human error, mechanical failures, structural vulnerabilities, and natural hazards, the ocean's unpredictable might and mystery still defying full comprehension. On the other side are the shadows of myth, the gap left by absence filled with extraordinary stories that captivate our imagination. These tales urge us to reflect carefully on what is truly mysterious and what is explained by science and circumstance. The vanishings of the USS Cyclops, Flight 19, and the British Star Tiger and Star Ariel are not merely stories of loss, but windows into the interplay between human fallibility and environmental dangers. They serve as stark reminders of the risks inherent in exploration before the advent of our current technologies and safety standards. As we move forward to examine the otherworldly theories that the Bermuda Triangle has inspired, it is crucial to hold in mind this balance between myth and reality. Each disappearance carries within it a story of people caught in the vastness of the ocean, moments of confusion turned fatal, and a legacy shaped by both fact and legend. The vanished remain silent shadows beneath the waves, their stories beckoning us to look beyond sensationalism, toward understanding the complex truths hidden beneath the sea's surface. The stories of the Bermuda Triangle do not end with cold facts and plausible explanations. Indeed, they soar into realms far beyond conventional understanding, where the lines between reality and the extraordinary blur. In this section, we venture into the spectacular and fringe theories that have fueled the Bermuda Triangle's mystique, diving into legends layered with the supernatural, the alien, and the otherworldly. One of the most enduring and captivating narratives is the theory of the lost city of Atlantis. This idea took hold and spread widely through the influence of Charles Berlitz, whose 1974 best-selling book introduced the public to a vision of the Bermuda Triangle, not just as a hazard zone, but as a portal to an ancient mystery. Berlitz posited that remnants of Atlantis, the fabled sunken continent described by Plato thousands of years ago, lie beneath the waters of the triangle. What makes this theory particularly intriguing are the claims of powerful energy crystals allegedly salvaged from Atlantis, believed to interfere with ships' and planes' navigation systems, causing compass failures and disorientation. These mystical crystals, according to devotees of this theory, disrupt electromagnetic fields and create navigational chaos, making the triangle a trap for unwary vessels. Taking this further, enthusiasts have pointed to the Bimini Road, a submerged formation of large flat stones off the coast of Bimini Island in the Bahamas, as physical evidence of Atlantean structures. Some describe it as a dock or ancient road built by this lost civilization. Additions to the lore include reports of massive granite blocks or even pyramid-like mirrored structures beneath the waves near Cuba and the Bahamas, all said to be vestiges of Atlantis. Yet despite the allure and dramatic flair of these claims, rigorous scientific investigation has found no credible evidence supporting these assertions. Scholars and geologists widely regard the Bimini Road as a natural rock formation, with no archaeological trace of an ancient civilization. The Atlantis theory, while potent in storytelling, remains firmly in the realm of pseudoscience. Adjacent to lost continents, the Bermuda Triangle has also become a hotspot for theories involving extraterrestrial activity. The narrative of alien abductions has woven itself tightly into the triangle's tapestry of mystery. According to these tales, unidentified flying objects, UFOs and their underwater counterparts, unidentified submerged objects, USOs, lurk beneath the sea's surface or appear in the skies, specifically targeting ships and planes. These otherworldly crafts are said to employ advanced, sometimes malevolent technology, capable of making vessels vanish without a trace. The idea is that after a supposed crash landing in the triangle's depths, alien spacecrafts continue to operate stealthily, abducting humans or experimenting with both alien and human technology. Dark undercurrents flow beneath these claims, as conspiracy theories suggest that clandestine government operations, particularly those allegedly centered at the AUTEC, Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center, base on Andros Island, are involved. This secretive facility is rumored to be where alien technology is reverse engineered, or even where covert deals between governments and extraterrestrials are struck. Proponents argue that many triangle disappearances, including the famous Flight 19, can be traced back to these secret activities. While these alien theories tantalize imaginations, they are unsupported by concrete evidence, serving more as modern folklore entwined with skepticism toward governments and the unknown. Beyond Aliens and Atlantis, a particularly dramatic and personal account that captures the imagination is that of Bruce Jernan, a Floridian pilot who in 1970 described a phenomenon he called electronic fog. Jernan recounts flying through a strange, dense mist that he experienced as a cylindrical cloud, growing exponentially around his plane. As he entered this fog, his instruments failed, and the aircraft felt weightless, out of control. Most astonishingly, Jernan's plane seemed to leap forward geographically, a distance of 100 miles passed in mere minutes, implying a time warp or time travel funnel. He coined the term electronic fog to describe this disorienting phenomenon, suggesting it might be a localized bending of space-time linked to the Bermuda Triangle. Later interpretations invoked concepts such as dark energy as speculative mechanisms, potentially responsible for such temporal distortions. Gernon's account offers a vivid, experiential narrative, capturing the uncanny and the unknown in a way that scientific explanations cannot easily dismiss in popular culture. Solar activity, such as sunspots or disturbances in the Earth's magnetosphere, on that day might explain some instrument malfunctions, but the alleged time leap remains scientifically enigmatic. The story of electronic fog continues to be cited by those seeking evidence of something truly extraordinary lurking within the mysterious triangle. A spectrum of lesser-known but equally extraordinary theories adds to the Bermuda Triangle's complexity. Some propose that supernatural magnetic fields exist there, far beyond the natural compass variations scientists recognize, fields so powerful and erratic they could cause navigational havoc. Others speculate boldly about the presence of downed ancient comets, celestial bodies 11,000 years old, with anomalous electromagnetic properties that disrupt modern technology when their fragments arrive here. There are rumors, too, less frequent, but no less dramatic, attributing disappearances to nefarious modern pirates or secretive supernatural forces beyond human understanding. Each one of these theories, while lacking scientific validation, has flourished owing to their captivating narrative power. They entice listeners and readers with their mixture of mystery and possibility, appealing to a universal human fascination with the unexplained, the fantastic, and the cosmic. These tales endure not because they are proven or even plausible by empirical standards, but because they feed a collective hunger for wonder and the perception that beyond the map and compass, there lies a realm where reality itself can bend. This thriving lore, passing from book to film, from eyewitness accounts to speculative documentaries, sustains the Bermuda Triangle's allure. It reveals a potent truth about human nature. No matter how much logic and evidence try to contain it, our imagination gravitates toward the extraordinary. The Bermuda Triangle is more than a geographical enigma. It is an archetype, a canvas onto which we project our hopes, fears, and endless curiosity about the unknown. As we move forward in this series, aware of the realms where myth and reality intertwine, we prepare to weigh these sensational stories against the steady light of science and reason, seeking an understanding that honors both our fascination with mystery and our commitment to truth. Beneath the enduring allure of the Bermuda Triangle lies a vastly different reality, one shaped not by supernatural forces or alien machinations, but by the undeniable power of nature, human fallibility, and the intricate dynamics of our planet's most treacherous waters. As we unravel the truth beneath the waves, it becomes clear that the so-called mystery is less a puzzle of the unknown and more a testament to environmental extremities and human limitations. The region popularly known as the Bermuda Triangle, a vast, loosely delineated expanse in the North Atlantic, exists at a crossroads of formidable environmental phenomena. Among the most potent of these are extreme weather events that routinely sweep through the area. Hurricanes, infamous for their sudden intensification and devastating force, frequently arise here. Before the advent of modern meteorology and satellite surveillance, these storms often appeared out of nowhere, ambushing sailors and aviators alike with ferocious winds, relentless rains, and deadly seas. Coupled with these tempests are rogue waves, immense, unexpected walls of water that rise seemingly from nowhere, capable of overwhelming even the sturdiest vessels. The Bermuda Triangle's waters have also been the scene of white squalls, fierce, sudden storms characterized by high winds and turbulent seas arriving without warning. Each of these natural phenomena holds the capacity to capsize a ship or down an aircraft in moments, leaving little chance for distress signals to be sent or wreckage to be known. Complicating survival and recovery efforts further is the Gulf Stream, a powerful and swift ocean current coursing through these waters. Moving at speeds up to nearly 6 miles per hour, it relentlessly sweeps debris and wreckage far from original incident sites, scattering evidence across vast oceanic expanses. Its swirling, unpredictable flows can create sudden weather changes, shrouding visibility in dense fog or conjuring violent squalls minutes after clear skies. For search and rescue teams, this means that locating anything lost in these waters becomes akin to finding a needle in a giant turbulent haystack. The very nature of these currents thus compounds the ocean's natural dangers, concealing evidence and deepening the belief in unexplained vanishings. Moreover, the region is geographically complex, extending from the shallow, reef-laden seas surrounding Bermuda and the Caribbean islands to the staggering depths of the Puerto Rico Trench, the Atlantic's deepest point at over 27,000 feet. The area's seafloor topography presents further hazard. Treacherous reefs have historically caused countless shipwrecks long before modern navigation, their jagged formations tearing hulls apart, while the abyssal depth of the trench makes the recovery of sunken craft virtually impossible. In this inhospitable environment, large-scale searches face enormous logistical and technological challenges, often resulting in permanent loss of evidence and unanswered questions. Adding to the suite of natural explanations is the intriguing, though debated, hypothesis involving methane gas hydrates. Beneath the ocean floor lie solid deposits of methane trapped in icy matrices, which, if suddenly released, could produce massive bubbles rising through the water column. This release might reduce water density so rapidly that ships lose buoyancy and sink without warning. Additionally, methane in the atmosphere could potentially disrupt aircraft performance. Yet, despite the appeal of this concept as a dramatic natural mechanism for sudden disappearances, the scientific consensus remains cautious. There is insufficient direct evidence that such methane eruptions have occurred in the Bermuda Triangle in a manner severe enough to cause major losses, and questions persist about the scale of the effect on vessels or planes. This, while compelling, remains a speculative piece of the puzzle rather than a confirmed culprit. Yet nature's fury alone cannot account for the full picture. Human factors play an equally pivotal role. The Bermuda Triangle encompasses or lies near what was once the Agonic Line, a region where magnetic north and true north align, causing compass deviations that could confound navigation. Early 20th century navigators, relying heavily on magnetic compasses, often struggled to maintain correct bearings in this zone. What's more, no credible scientific data supports theories of unusual local magnetic anomalies in the region. Contemporaneous investigations found compass errors aligned with known earthly magnetic variation, underscoring that these errors were understandable navigational challenges rather than the result of supernatural interference. Further compounding this are pilot and crew errors. The famed Flight 19 incident exemplifies human factors at play. Lieutenant Charles Taylor, an experienced but sometimes wayward pilot, on previous occasions had become disoriented over the sea. During that ill-fated 1945 mission, worsening weather and possible instrument malfunctions left him and his squadron confused, leading them away from land rather than towards safety. His failure to adhere to lost-at-sea navigation protocols, exacerbated by potential lack of critical equipment and impaired judgment, tragically culminated in the squadron's disappearance. Such instances reveal how even skilled individuals may succumb amid technological limitations, poor decision-making, and the stress of a hostile environment. Mechanical failures also loom large. Ships and aircraft are complex machines subject to wear, fatigue, and sudden malfunctions. In an era before modern redundant systems, a single engine failure, communication breakdown, or structural weakness could rapidly escalate to catastrophe, especially when compounded by severe weather. The USS Cyclops, lost with all hands in 1918, illustrates this. Investigation revealed that its cargo of acidic coal may have severely weakened its structural integrity, leading to a catastrophic breakup in heavy seas. Similar fates befell its sister ships. These hidden vulnerabilities underscore how seemingly routine voyages could end disastrously without warning. Crucially, statistical analyses and official investigations have systematically dismantled the notion of the Bermuda Triangle as a place of extraordinary peril. The U.S. Coast Guard, after reviewing hundreds of cases, has concluded that incidents in the region are no more frequent proportionally than in any other heavily trafficked area of the world's oceans. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration attributes disappearances principally to natural factors such as storms and rough seas. Lloyd's of London, a leading marine insurance authority, confirms that no increased premiums are charged for passing through the Bermuda Triangle, a clear financial indicator that risks are not perceived as unique. Independent researchers like Larry Kusher have meticulously documented how many alleged mysteries stem from overstated claims, misreported details, or even incidents occurring far outside the designated area. The numbers simply do not support a supernatural or anomalous pattern. This careful examination reveals that the Bermuda Triangle myth owes its enduring life less to empirical fact and more to sensationalism and flawed media narratives. Writers in the mid-20th century amplified accounts by omitting vital context, such as storm warnings or mischaracterizing weather conditions, creating dramatic but misleading stories. Exaggerated disappearance counts, conflating unrelated incidents, and selective storytelling have woven a compelling legend rich in suspense and allure. The commercial success of these narratives, selling millions of books, inspiring TV shows, films, and other media, has further entrenched the myth in public consciousness, often overshadowing sober scientific explanations.